Hi everyone, it's Robin from Beautifully Wander. In today's video, I want to show you my favorite photography apps on the iPhone and really show you how I edit, create, and plan my content for Beautifully Wander. I thought I would do a bit of a different video today and take you to the Buffalo viewpoint here in Fort McMurray, which is about 30 minutes north of Fort McKay. So I want to grab a Tim Hortons and then we'll hit the road and hopefully the buffaloes are out. Hey everyone, so we're at the Buffalo viewpoint right now. I just did a drive around to see if the buffaloes are out, and right now they're not. So I'm just gonna hang out for a little bit here, see if they come out, and in the meantime, I'm just gonna film this video for you, all about my favorite photography apps that I have on my phone here. So without further ado, let's get into the video. First set of apps that I want to talk about is the apps that I use to edit my content. So when I first started editing images, I was using Visco. However, within probably the last year, I started using Lightroom, and then a couple weeks ago I did purchase Lightroom so I can have it on my MacBook, and then I can have the free version on my phone. So that's primarily what I use to edit my photos now, is Lightroom. Taking you into Lightroom right now, what I thought I would do is quickly take you through how I would go about editing a photo. This is a photo of one of the most delicious breakfasts ever. It is a breakfast paella from the Jamboree in Kelowna. It's basically like a seafood Benny, except for instead of like an English muffin, you have hash browns, and then it's got like seafood, poached eggs, hollandaise sauce. It's so good. If you ever go to Kelowna, definitely go to the Jamboree and try a breakfast paella. First thing I do is I'll go in and I'll crop the image to how I like it, and then after I crop the image to a 1:1 ratio, I'll go into light and I will boost the exposure, and then I normally bring the contrast up to 15. I bring the highlights down to 15. I normally will play with the shadows depending on the image. I think with this one I'm going to bring the shadows up. I also bring the whites up to around 25, and then I'll bring the blacks down to 25. And that's what I normally do in the light tab. And then I'll go over to color and I will boost the saturation up. Now I find when I am editing images with yellow in it, I really don't like the saturation that high, so I think I'm going to bring it down to more like a 5, and then I'll bring the vibrance up, and then I typically will play with the temperature, again just depending on the image and what colors are in it. I think with this image I don't really care for the temperature to be on the warmer side, so I think I'm going to bring the temperature down to a 5. And then after I finish with color, I just go into detail and I just sharpen the image. And then if you want to see a before and after, just hold down the image and then it shows a before and after. Now you'll kind of see that I didn't make drastic changes to it, and it's because I like to keep my editing more on the brighter side and more on the natural side, so I don't do any crazy edits to it. I really just want to bring out more of the color and keep it to the natural side and just make it brighter. After I finish with the image, I'll just export to my camera roll. After I have edited my images in Lightroom, I like to plan out my Instagram feed in PlanOlie. So if I open up PlanOlie, this is my exact Instagram feed. So what I like about it is you can upload your images as a carousel. So if I go into this one here, all of these images are uploaded as a carousel, and what you can do is you can play around with the images to see what it looks like against your Instagram feed. So because I have like a lot of blues going on right now, I don't really like this image as my cover, so I can go in and I can just play around with the images here. So if I upload this one, I really like how this one looks against the rest of my feed, and so that's kind of the nice part about PlanOlie, is that way when you are uploading you kind of create this consistent feel to it. Another thing I did like about PlanOlie is you can actually see your Instagram stories as well. So I can see the covers of my stories and just get a real feel for how my Instagram looks for Beautifully Wander, instead of just playing it by ear and guessing when I upload. Now you can schedule in PlanOlie as well, so you can schedule all of your posts and even your stories. I typically don't use that feature in PlanOlie, and I've just been strictly using it to kind of plan out my feed. Now a third app that I like to use again for my Instagram is something something called Caption Kit. So Caption Kit basically allows you to create those line breaks in your captions for your Instagram posts. So if we go to my Instagram right now, you'll kind of see here that in the caption there's these line breaks in between the sentences or paragraphs. And so what I used to do is I would just put periods in between, and that worked for a really long time, but I always saw other people that would be able to create these line breaks in Instagram, and I never understood how until I discovered Caption Kit. So with Caption Kit, basically I create the content in my notes app, and then I will paste the content here in Caption Kit. And then when it generates a caption, it'll automatically copy to your clipboard. So then in your Instagram post, when you're about to upload, you can paste it and it'll automatically kind of carry over these line breaks in your caption. And that way when you post it, that's what it shows. So that's really nice, and that's what I like about Caption Kit. So now I can create those line breaks. Alright, so the last Instagram related photography app that I'm going to show you is called Unfold. So Unfold is what I use to create all of my Instagram story layout. You have a bunch of different options here. So what I did is I kind of went through all of the layouts and then I created my favorite. And so this is just an example. This is the ripped paper layout, and then when I do my titles, I really like using that Northwell text. And so I will basically create almost all of my Instagram story layouts in here. But sometimes what I'll do also is I will create a basic template here in Unfold, and then when I upload it to my Instagram story, I'll like go over it with the different text that is already on the Instagram stories. And so that's kind of how I create my favorite for Beautifully Wander. Alright, so the next set of apps I have is the Camera Connect apps. Now I do have two Camera Connect apps. I have my Canon and my Olympus. And so the nice part about the Camera Connect apps is that you can transfer your images wirelessly. So both my Canon and my Olympus can do that, which is great because I really like having that functionality. If I only need to transfer a couple of images, then I can do that really easily. If I have to transfer a lot of images, then it's more worthwhile for me to just take out the SD card and plug it into my laptop. And then another functionality that they have is you can do the whole live view remote control from your phone if it's wireless connected. I do not typically use that function right now. I've used it the odd time, but I mostly use these Camera Connect apps for the wireless transfer. Alright, so the last two apps that I have is the Canon mini printer and Squarespace app. So the Canon mini printer, I had bought one, maybe it was last Christmas that I had bought a Canon mini printer, and basically you can print out any images on your phone onto like little Polaroid paper, and so I really enjoyed that, and cute to have for journaling and just printing off. And then the other app I have is my Squarespace app. If I did want to create and edit on the go, I can. I do typically create all of my content for Beautifully Wander on my laptop with the Squarespace on the web, but it is nice to have the app version just in case I want to edit or create on the go. Alright, so unfortunately the buffaloes never came out at the buffalo viewpoint, which is kind of disappointing for today, but it can be really spotty when you come up here. Sometimes like you can see all of the buffaloes, even with like the little baby buffaloes, but today just wasn't one of those days. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. As usual, there's going to be a companion blog post on beautifullywander.com. If you like this video, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell, and I'll see you in the next video.